Neville in the realm of manifestation. His teachings, rooted in mystical interpretations of biblical concepts, resonated with seekers of truth around the world. Neville's journey led him to explore the transformative power of assumption, and his wisdom continues to echo through the corridors of time. Neville fervently believed in the creative power of the imagination. He often stated, "Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled," emphasizing that your imaginative capacity shapes your experiences. Central to Neville's teachings was the concept of assumption, the idea that assuming the feeling of already having our desires fulfilled aligns us with the energy needed for manifestation. Ask yourself, what would it feel like if I already had that money, that job, that relationship, that dream vacation? How would I feel if I was truly at peace? Find that feeling and that reality. Imagine it, hold on to it, and act consciously in line with that reality. Assume that reality and watch as rest falls right into place. Neville also encouraged living in the end result of our desires. By mentally residing in the state of having already achieved our goals, we alter our consciousness and attract corresponding experiences. Consequently, you have to slowly learn to script your own reality. Neville advocated for the use of inner conversations and mental scripting. By consciously directing our thoughts and inner dialogues, we script the story of our lives and influence our external reality. As crazy as it might sound, he also believed in the power of revising past events through imagination. By reimagining and revising past experiences, we alter their impact on our present and future. Being one of the most important of his teachings, everything we have just discussed is still centered by the law of assumption. As a kid, you first begin life seeing it through some very skewed but beautiful lens. You're full of wonder, curiosity, and wild imagination. Why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? Can I touch a unicorn? All of these, the rambling of a kid's unbridled imaginations, probably make up some of our first and last contacts with true magic and wonder. However, the older we got, the less we got to see and touch this magic. Soon Santa became some ridiculous, whimsical character. The color of the sky and grass no longer fascinated you, and the question why became farther than an afterthought. Somewhere along the line, we forgot how to reimagine the world in our own way. We forgot to assume that our lives could be exactly as we wanted it to. Now that you've gained some insight from Neville Goddard's wisdom, you now know in essence what his teaching centered on. Let's dive into the very core of this exploration, the law of assumption. What is it exactly? At its root, the law of assumption is the recognition that our assumptions, beliefs, and feelings mold our reality. Neville Goddard urged us to transcend the limits of wishful thinking and fully embody the assumption that our desires are not only possible, but are already realized. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. The assumption is the soil, nurturing the seedling of your desire until it blooms into your lived experience. It's about living from the end result, not merely wishing for it. In simple words, it's a concept that says you must assume the feeling or reality you desire. Somehow, some way, this reality will find its way to you. Now, this might sound a whole lot like wishful thinking, but walk with me and find out the difference. Wishful thinking often involves passive daydreaming and desiring without a clear intention or conscious engagement. It's like throwing a coin into a fountain and hoping for a miracle without actively participating in the creation process. On the other hand, the law of assumption is an intentional, conscious act. It's about assuming a state of being and embodying the emotions associated with the desired outcome. It's not passive. It's an active engagement with the creative forces of the universe. Wishful thinking might leave you yearning for change. One of the biggest challenges people face with implementing these practices is properly visualizing their assumption. Goddard often stressed the effectiveness of experiencing visualizations from a first-person viewpoint. When you visualize, see the world through your own eyes, immersing yourself in the details and emotions of the assumed reality. Instead of focusing on the process, see yourself living the life you desire. Whether it's financial abundance, a fulfilling relationship, or career success, visualize the end scene vividly. Engage your senses during visualization. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, and experience the emotions associated with your desired reality. Neville emphasized the importance of making your visualizations as sensory-rich as possible. Number 4 is first-person perspective. When visualizing, adopt a first-person perspective. See the world through your own eyes in the scenes you imagine. This personalizes the experience and makes it more immersive. Number 5 is feeling is the secret. Focus on the emotional component of your assumptions. Feel the emotions associated with the fulfillment of your desires. The more genuine and intense the emotions, the more effective the assumption. Feeling is the vibrational language that communicates with the universe. Goddard emphasized that it's not just about thinking of your desire, it's about feeling as if your desire has already been fulfilled. This might be hard for many to grasp, not because it is difficult, but simply because it seems a little inadequate, underwhelming, if you will. If you desire financial abundance, feel the joy and security that financial freedom brings. If you seek love, immerse yourself in the warmth and fulfillment of being loved. Your feelings are the magnetic pull that draws your assumptions into your lived reality. Feeling is not merely a side effect of assumption, it's the secret ingredient that catalyzes the manifestation process. Number 6 is to create a mental script. Develop a mental script or story that narrates your life as you wish it to be. Picture each scene with clarity and script the dialogue and events as if they are happening in the present moment. Number 7 is to live from the end. Embrace the concept of living from the end. Act as if your desires have already been fulfilled. Make choices and decisions based on the assumption that your desired reality is your current reality. Number 8 is consistency and repetition. Consistency is crucial. Repeat your affirmations and engage in visualizations regularly. Consistent reinforcement strengthens the neural pathways associated with your assumptions. Consistent assumption is the heartbeat of the law of assumption. It's not a fleeting thought or a momentary belief. It's a sustained and unwavering commitment to the assumption that your desires are on their way to manifestation. God had emphasized that persistence is not about desperation or anxious waiting. It's about confidently and persistently assuming the feeling of the wish being fulfilled, even in the face of external circumstances that might suggest otherwise. Number 9 is positive self-talk. Monitor your internal dialogue. Sometimes that little voice in your head could be getting in your way. Maybe it says you can't do certain things or be certain things. Maybe it says you're not good enough or worthy enough. Whatever the case may be, you must strive to replace negative or doubtful thoughts with positive affirmations that support your conscious assumptions. Positive self-talk reinforces your desired beliefs. Number 10 is detachment from the means. Let go of attachment to specific ways or means through which your desires will manifest. Trust the universe to bring about the fulfillment of your assumptions in ways that may surpass your current understanding. God had emphasized the importance of detaching from the how of manifestation. This principle involves trusting that the universe will orchestrate the means to fulfill your assumptions, often in ways beyond your. Goddard emphasized that consciousness is the key player in the law of assumption. The more aware and intentional your assumptions, the more profound the impact on your reality. By aligning your emotions with the assumed reality, you create a vibrational match that attracts your desires. Consistent and persistent assumption is the key to unlocking the manifestation process. Doubts may arise, but persistence in assumption acts as a steady beacon, guiding one through challenges. Patience is the companion of persistence. Manifestation doesn't always adhere to our expected timelines. Encourage a realistic view of the manifestation journey, understanding that the universe operates on its own divine timing. The law of assumption is not about instant gratification, it's about trust and unwavering belief. Ultimately, this law and its principles have the power to change your life if you so choose. What is it that you desire, and how can you assume that reality to facilitate it actually happening? I hope you have some answers after watching this video. If you enjoyed watching and would love to learn more, then make sure to like the video, share it, and subscribe for more. See you in the next one.
Listen to me. Everything you've been told about men and love is a lie. You think men fall in love because of beauty? No. Because of sex? No. Because of effort? Still no. Men don't fall in love when they sleep with you. Men don't fall in love when you're always there proving your worth. Men fall in love when they feel something they don't feel anywhere else. Let me say that again. Men fall in love when a woman makes them feel something they can't find in the world. Not validation, not desperation, not control, but a force so rare it shakes them. A man falls in love when he sees you as the one person who makes him feel understood, but not chased, desired, but not suffocated. He falls in love when he knows deep in his gut that you are a woman who could walk away if he doesn't show up fully. Because here's the truth. Men don't value what's handed to them on a silver platter. They value what they have to earn. A man falls in love when he realizes you're not like the rest. You're not waiting by the phone. You're not begging for attention. You're in your own world, thriving, growing, living, and that's when he wakes up. That's when he sees what's in front of him. That's when he falls. Because love isn't about being everything to a man. It's about being the one thing he's afraid to lose. Now, are you that woman, or are you still playing small? Men don't fall in love the way you think they do. They don't fall in love because you're beautiful. They don't fall in love because you're always there, answering their calls, making them feel important. They don't even fall in love because you give them everything they want. That's the lie you've been sold. That's the illusion that's keeping you stuck, confused, wondering why he pulls away, why he loses interest, why he doesn't feel the same way you do. A man falls in love when he feels something he cannot find anywhere else. Not validation, not comfort, not control. He falls in love when he experiences an emotion so deep, so electrifying that it shakes him. It's a force that is bigger than logic, bigger than attraction, bigger than anything he understands. It's not a choice. It's an instinct. Everywhere he goes, the world is filled with expectations. Be successful. Be strong. Be the provider. Be the man. And so he moves through life with a mask, hiding his truth, playing the role the world expects him to play. He meets women who adore him, who admire him, who try to prove they're worthy of his love, and still something is missing. Something feels off. He can't explain it. He can't put it into words. But then, one day he meets a woman who doesn't just see him, she makes him feel. It's not because she gives him attention. It's not because she flatters him. It's not because she follows all the rules of how to make a man love you. It's because in her presence, something awakens in him, a depth he has forgotten, a hunger he didn't know existed. She makes him feel seen, but not in a way that makes him comfortable, in a way that makes him question himself. She challenges him without even trying. She moves through life with a force so undeniable that he has no choice but to notice. And that moment when his world shifts, when something inside of him stirs, that is when a man begins to fall. You see, love is not about logic. It is not about effort. It is not about checking all the right boxes. Love, real love, is about emotional impact. A man can have the most beautiful, devoted woman in the world and still not fall. Not because she isn't enough, but because she doesn't trigger the depth of emotion he needs to feel that pull, that fire, that undeniable knowing that he cannot let her go. When a man falls in love, it's not because he makes a decision to love, It's because something inside of him doesn't give him a choice. It's because when he's with her, the world feels different. The air is different. The silence is different. He is different. And he doesn't even understand why. He just knows he needs more of it. But here's the hard truth. Most women never get to that place. Not because they aren't amazing, but because they are too busy trying to be what they think a man wants. They play the role. They shrink themselves. They say the right things. They overgive. They overcommit. They over-explain. They try to love him into loving them, and in doing so, they strip away the very thing that would make him fall. A man does not fall in love with a woman who hands him her soul on a silver platter. He does not fall in love with convenience. He does not fall in love with predictability. He falls in love with the one thing he can't control, the one thing he can't explain, the one thing he knows deep in his bones he will never find again. And that woman? She doesn't chase. She doesn't beg. She doesn't need to prove anything. She is the experience. She is the storm. She is the moment he realizes he is no longer in control. And when that happens, he will do anything to make sure he never loses her. A man does not value what comes too easily. He does not cherish what he didn't have to fight for. If you hand him your love on a silver platter, if you bend over backwards to prove your worth, if you rearrange your life just to fit into his, he won't see it as a blessing. He'll see it as something that costs him nothing. And anything that costs nothing is taken for granted. Think about it. The things people value most in life, the things they fight for, bleed for, sweat for, are the things they had to earn: success, respect, power, even love. When something is handed to you without effort, it loses its significance. That's human nature. And men, they are wired to pursue, to chase, to conquer. That's not just some cliche. It's biology, psychology, and reality. A man doesn't truly fall for the woman who is always available, always giving, always proving. He falls for the woman who makes him step up, who makes him realize that if he doesn't show up fully, he could lose her. That's the woman who makes his heart race. That's the woman who makes him rethink everything. Because here's the truth. Nobody tells you when you give too much, too soon, too easily, you strip away the very thing that makes a man desire you. It's not because he's cruel. It's not because he wants to hurt you. It's because he is wired to value what he has to work for. If he doesn't have to earn your love, your time, your presence, he won't feel the same intensity for you. And I know what you're thinking, but I'm just being kind. I'm just showing him I care. I just want to make him happy. That's the mistake, because in your mind, love means giving. Love means effort. Love means showing up for someone fully. But in a man's mind, love means something different. It means wanting. It means pursuing. It means feeling like he might lose you if he doesn't give you his all. So many women think they have to do more, be more, give more to make a man love them. They think if they just show him how amazing they are, he'll wake up one day and realize he's in love. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't fall in love with effort. He falls in love with the feeling that he might lose something he deeply desires. Look around. The relationships that last, the love that is unbreakable, the women who are cherished beyond words, they are not the women who gave everything away for free. They are the women who made a man rise to the occasion, who made him show up, who made him prove to himself and to her that he was willing to go all in. Because when a man has to earn you, he sees you differently. You are not just another option. You are not just another woman who is there for convenience. You are the rare jewel, the one thing he knows he cannot replace. And that is what makes a man stay. Not guilt, not obligation, not comfort, but the deep, undeniable understanding that you are valuable and he had to fight to have you. And when a man fights for something, when he invests in it, when he has to step up and give his best, that's when he treasures it. That's when he holds it close. That's when he makes sure with everything in him that he never loses it. A man does not fall in love with the woman who needs him. He falls in love with the woman who doesn't. The woman who is so full of life, so consumed by her own passions, so deeply rooted in who she is, that his presence is a privilege, not a requirement. The woman who walks into a room and owns it, not because she's trying, but because her energy is undeniable. The woman who doesn't seek approval, who doesn't beg for attention, who doesn't bend herself into something smaller just to fit into his world, that is the woman who captures his soul. Men don't chase women who are just standing still, waiting to be chosen. They chase the women who are already in motion, already moving towards something greater than love itself. A man sees a woman who is independent, who is thriving, who is so completely whole within herself, and he feels something rare, respect. And that respect turns into admiration, and that admiration turns into desire. And that desire, that's what makes him fall. Because here's what nobody tells you: love is not about filling a void. It's not about fixing loneliness. It's not about needing someone to complete you. A man does not want to be your savior. He does not want to be the reason you exist. He does not fall for the woman who makes him her entire world. He falls for the woman who has a world of her own, because that world is what makes her magnetic. That world is what makes him crave her. And that's the mistake so many women make. They meet a man, they start to like him, and suddenly everything becomes about him. Their schedule bends for him, their time revolves around him, their happiness depends on him. And at first he might enjoy it. He might even soak it up. But deep down, something shifts. The excitement fades. The challenge disappears. The energy that pulled him in, it's gone. Because he no longer feels like he's stepping into something extraordinary. He feels like he's being handed something that requires no effort, no risk, no risking. A man does not value what is given to him freely. He values what he has to earn. And a woman who is confident, who is independent, who is completely in love with her own life, that is a woman he knows he has to work for. That is a woman he knows is not waiting by the phone, not hoping for his attention, not desperate for his love. That is a woman he knows could walk away if he doesn't show up as the man she deserves. And that realization, that is what makes him step up. That is what makes him put in the effort. That is what makes him look at her and say, I can't lose this. Because men do not fall in love with women they can have without effort. They fall in love with women who make them better, who make them chase, who make them rise to a higher standard. And when a woman has that energy, that unshakable confidence, that presence that says, I am enough, with or without you, a man has no choice but to see her differently. She is not an option. She is not a temporary thrill. She is not replaceable. She is the rarest thing he has ever encountered. And the thought of losing her, that is what makes him fall. Because he knows deep in his soul that a woman like her doesn't come twice. A man doesn't fall in love because you love him. He doesn't fall in love because you give him your time, your body, your loyalty. He doesn't fall in love because you're always there, always available, always ready to do whatever it takes to make him happy. A man falls in love when he realizes deep in his gut that you are the one thing he cannot afford to lose. The moment that fear hits him, the moment he understands that you are not a woman who waits, who begs, who pleads, that's when everything changes. Because here's the brutal truth. A man does not commit to something he isn't afraid to lose. If he knows you will always be there no matter what, if he knows you will always forgive, always compromise, always stay even when he gives you the bare minimum, he will never give you his all. Not because he's a bad person, not because he doesn't care, but because human nature doesn't work that way. We do not treasure what we think will always be there. We treasure what we know is rare, what we know could slip through our fingers if we don't hold on tight, and that's the mistake so many women make. They think being irreplaceable means being the most loving, the most giving, the most understanding. They think if they show him unconditional love, he will wake up one day and realize she's the best thing that ever happened to him. But that's not how it works. A man doesn't fall in love with comfort. He falls in love with the fear of losing something extraordinary. He falls in love when he knows without a doubt that if he doesn't step up, if he doesn't give you his best, you won't stick around just because you love him. He has to feel that his place in your life is not guaranteed. He has to feel that if he stops showing up, if he stops putting in the effort, if he starts treating you like an afterthought, you will not wait for him to wake up. He has to know that you are not a woman who tolerates half love, half effort, half commitment. That realization shakes a man. It wakes him up. It makes him see you in a way he has never seen any woman before. Not as a convenience, not as someone who is just there, but as a force he cannot afford to lose. A man does not fall in love with a woman who sacrifices herself for him. He falls in love with the woman who knows her worth so deeply that she refuses to settle for anything less than a man who is all in. The woman who knows that love is not about waiting, not about hoping, not about proving. Love is about mutual effort, mutual respect, mutual desire. The woman who understands that the right man will never put her in a position where she has to beg for his time, his affection, his commitment. And that's where the power is. Not in trying to be good enough for him, not in proving that you're the perfect woman, not in doing everything right. The power is in being the woman who chooses herself first. The woman who knows that walking away is an option. The woman who does not cling to a man who won't fight for her. Because when a man sees that, when he feels that, when he knows that you are a woman who will not lower her standards just to keep him around, he has no choice but to step up. He has no choice but to fall, because the truth is, men don't fall in love with women who stay no matter what. They fall in love with the women they can't imagine their life without. The women they respect. The women they know they have to work for. The women who don't just give their love away, but make sure it's being received by a man who deserves it. That's what makes a man afraid to lose you. And that fear, that's what makes him love you in a way he has never loved before.
Stop everything you're doing right now. What I'm about to reveal has been deliberately hidden from 99% of the population for centuries. There's a reason why certain families have maintained wealth for generations, while others work themselves to exhaustion and never break free from financial struggle. And here's what will shock you most. It has absolutely nothing to do with education, connections, or even hard work. In the next few minutes, I'm going to share 8 spiritual laws that govern money flow. Laws so powerful that when you understand just one of them, your financial reality will begin shifting immediately. But here's your first warning. This information challenges everything you've been taught about money, and not everyone is ready to hear it. You found this message at the exact moment when your consciousness is ready to receive this ancient secret. The universe has orchestrated this divine appointment because you're prepared to understand why money flows effortlessly to some while seeming to avoid others completely. Today you join the ranks of those who comprehend the true nature of abundance and become a conduit through which prosperity naturally flows. By the time these revelations integrate into your consciousness and transform your relationship with money, you will understand 3 critical things. First, why your previous financial struggles were inevitable. Second, why your current breakthrough is imminent. Third, why your future abundance is absolutely guaranteed. But before we go deeper, I need you to understand something crucial. You'll see how money operates according to spiritual law, not economic theory. And here's what the wealthy elite don't want you to know. Aligning with this law makes you irresistible to wealth in all its forms. Most people will never hear what you're about to learn. They'll continue struggling because they're operating from a fundamental misunderstanding that keeps them trapped in scarcity. But you're different. You're here for a reason. The great secret that changes everything is this. Money is not a thing to be acquired, but a flow to be joined. Listen carefully. This single understanding has created more millionaires than any investment strategy, business model, or career choice combined. Most people approach money as if it were a limited resource to be captured, hoarded, and protected from others who might take it away. They live in scarcity consciousness, believing that someone else's gain must mean their loss, that wealth is finite and must be fought for. Here's the truth that will revolutionize your thinking. This fundamental misunderstanding creates the very resistance that blocks money from flowing to them. When you treat money as a scarce commodity, you create scarcity in your experience. When you approach wealth with desperation and need, you repel the very thing you're trying to attract. Money flows like water. It moves freely toward open channels and away from blocked passages. The universe operates on abundance, not scarcity. There is no shortage of money any more than there is a shortage of numbers. The same infinite intelligence that created galaxies filled with countless stars has embedded abundance into the very fabric of existence. Money is simply one expression of this infinite abundance, and it flows naturally to those who understand and align with its true nature. Let me prove this to you with a story that will change how you see wealth forever. Consider the remarkable story of Andrew Carnegie, who arrived in America as a poor Scottish immigrant with nothing but an understanding of this principle. While others saw only limited opportunities and fought each other for scarce positions, Carnegie recognized that wealth was created, not competed for. He understood that money flows to those who provide value, who solve problems, who serve others' needs. Carnegie built the largest steel company in the world by grasping this fundamental truth. Money is energy that flows toward those who facilitate its circulation. He became one of the richest men in history by focusing on serving the growing nation's need for steel, rather than focusing on his own need for money. The money followed naturally because he aligned with the flow rather than fighting against it. Stand in this same understanding and affirm with complete conviction, money flows to me naturally as I align with divine abundance. But this is just the first key. What I'm about to share next will shock you even more. The second key to understanding money's flow lies in recognizing that prosperity is your divine birthright, not a reward for struggle. The universe did not create abundance for some and scarcity for others. It created abundance for all, but only those who claim their birthright experience it. Money avoids those who believe they must earn it through suffering, and flows toward those who understand they deserve it through divine inheritance. This principle appears throughout ancient wisdom. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. This divine desire for your prosperity reveals that abundance is not something you must convince God to give you. It's something God is eager to pour through you when your consciousness becomes receptive to receiving it. Your soul's prosperity, your alignment with divine abundance consciousness, determines your financial prosperity. When you truly understand that you are heir to infinite wealth, because you are one with the source of all wealth, money begins flowing to you through channels you never expected, in amounts that surprise you, at times that seem miraculous. The biblical story of Solomon illustrates this principle perfectly. When offered anything he desired, Solomon asked for wisdom rather than riches. Yet because he aligned his consciousness with divine priorities, rather than material accumulation, he received both wisdom and wealth beyond measure. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Solomon understood that money flows to those who prioritize spiritual alignment over material acquisition. Let this truth penetrate your being and declare with unwavering faith, I claim my divine birthright of infinite abundance and prosperity. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The third key reveals why money seems to multiply in the hands of some while disappearing from the hands of others. Money responds to your energetic relationship with it. If you fear money, it avoids you. If you hate rich people, you repel wealth. If you believe money is evil or corrupting, you create barriers that block its flow to you. Money is neutral energy that takes on the characteristics you assign to it. When you hold money in reverence as a tool for good, as energy that can bless others and create positive change, it flows toward you because you've made yourself a safe place for it to accomplish divine purposes. When you view money with suspicion, fear, or judgment, it moves away from you because your energy field is hostile to its presence. Warren Buffett exemplifies this principle in his relationship with wealth. Rather than seeing money as something to hoard for personal pleasure, Buffett views it as energy to be circulated for maximum benefit. His famous commitment to give away 99% of his wealth demonstrates his understanding that money flows most abundantly to those who hold it lightly and use it purposefully. Money trusts him with greater amounts because he demonstrates wisdom in its stewardship. The universe is asking you to make a revolutionary declaration right now. In the comments below, write these words: abundance is my natural state. This simple statement activates something profound in your consciousness. When you publicly declare abundance as your natural state, You break agreement with every scarcity belief that has limited your financial flow. Make this declaration now, then continue listening, because what follows will show you exactly how to become an unstoppable magnet for money. The fourth key unlocks the mystery of timing. Why money flows to some people at exactly the right moments, while others remain perpetually waiting for their breakthrough. Money flows according to divine timing, not human impatience. Those who understand this principle position themselves to receive abundance when the universe is ready to deliver it, rather than forcing outcomes through desperate action. Divine timing operates on perfect intelligence that sees the full picture of your life, your preparation, your purpose, and your capacity to handle wealth wisely. Money delayed is often money refined. Align with this perfect timing and affirm with complete trust. Divine timing orchestrates my financial abundance for my highest good and greatest purpose. But here's what most people miss entirely, and it's the difference between temporary success and lasting wealth. The fifth key reveals the magnetic power of gratitude in attracting wealth. Money flows toward those who appreciate what they already have and away from those who focus on what they lack. Gratitude is the frequency that opens all channels of abundance, while complaint is the vibration that closes them. Most people operate from a consciousness of when I have more money, then I'll be grateful. This backwards thinking creates a vibrational barrier that repels the very abundance they desire. Money responds to present moment appreciation, not future promises of gratitude. The parable of the talents demonstrates this principle clearly. The servants who were grateful for what they were given and used it wisely received more. The servant who complained about receiving less and hid what he had lost even that. For unto every one that hath shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath. This is not cruel divine punishment, but natural spiritual law. Gratitude multiplies whatever you're grateful for, while complaint diminishes whatever you complain about. Cultivate this magnetic frequency and declare with heartfelt appreciation, I am deeply grateful for all abundance flowing to me now and always. Now, here's where most wealthy people break the rules everyone else follows. The sixth key unveils the power of circulation. Money flows to those who keep it moving and stagnates with those who try to hoard it. Wealth is like a river that must keep flowing to remain fresh and vital. When you dam up the flow through fear-based hoarding, you create stagnation that eventually cuts off your supply. When you allow money to flow through you freely, you become a conduit that attracts ever-increasing abundance. This principle challenges conventional financial wisdom that emphasizes saving and accumulation over circulation and investment. John D. Rockefeller understood this principle profoundly. Despite becoming the wealthiest person in modern history, Rockefeller never hoarded his wealth. He continuously reinvested in business expansion, philanthropic causes, and economic development. He famously said, "I believe that every right implies a responsibility, every opportunity an obligation, every possession a duty." Rockefeller's wealth grew exponentially because he treated money as energy to be circulated for productive purposes rather than security to be stored for personal protection. Embrace this principle of circulation and affirm with generous confidence, money flows through me freely, blessing others and returning to me multiplied. But what I'm about to share next is the secret that separates the ultra-wealthy from everyone else. The seventh key exposes the crucial role of purpose in attracting wealth. Money flows most abundantly to those whose prosperity serves purposes greater than personal accumulation. The universe channels resources through people who will use them to create value, solve problems, and bless others. When your wealth serves only your own desires, the flow remains limited. When your prosperity serves divine purposes, the flow becomes unlimited. This principle explains why some people with modest personal needs attract enormous wealth. They become conduits for abundance that serves purposes beyond their individual requirements. Connect with your highest purpose and declare with sacred intention, "My wealth serves divine purposes and multiplies as it blesses the world." Now, here's the final key that ties everything together, and it's the most powerful of all. The eighth key reveals the transformative power of faith in manifesting financial abundance. Money flows to those who maintain unwavering faith in divine provision, even when circumstances suggest limitation. Faith is not wishful thinking, but spiritual knowing that transcends physical appearances. When you truly know that abundance is your divine inheritance, you naturally attract experiences that validate this knowing. Most people operate from faith in lack. They believe deeply in limitation, scarcity, and financial struggle. This faith in limitation creates the exact experiences they believe in. But when you develop faith in abundance, when you know with absolute certainty that you are heir to infinite wealth, the universe must validate your faith by providing evidence of your divine inheritance. Root yourself in unshakable faith and affirm with absolute certainty. My faith in divine abundance creates unlimited financial prosperity in my life. As these 8 keys integrate into your consciousness, you begin operating from abundance awareness rather than scarcity thinking. You recognize money as divine energy, seeking purposeful channels rather than limited resources requiring desperate pursuit. This shift in understanding automatically shifts your experience. Opportunities appear where you previously saw obstacles. Resources become available when you need them. Money begins flowing to you naturally because you've aligned with the laws that govern its movement. You are not separate from the source of all abundance. You are an expression of that source. When you align with this intelligence, when you think from its abundance rather than from human limitation, you become a magnet for wealth that serves divine purposes through human channels. Right now, as this understanding integrates fully into your being, new streams of abundance are opening in your life. Money flows to those who understand this. And now you understand. The flow has begun, and it will continue growing stronger as your understanding deepens and your faith increases. Welcome to your new relationship with wealth. Welcome to the flow of divine abundance. Welcome to the understanding that changes everything.
If you're skeptical about the power of manifestation in the law of attraction, you might want to stop watching right now. But if you believe, deep down, that there's a force at work in the universe, a force that listens to your every word and can change the course of your entire life, then you need to hear this, because here's the truth. If you don't understand the power you hold with your words, you could be missing out on everything. Imagine living your life just one step away from everything you've ever wanted: wealth, freedom, abundance, and not even knowing it. Today, you'll learn a technique that only a few people know, one that could unlock wealth for you almost instantly. And we're not talking about just any technique. We're diving deep into the power of a single word, originating from Aramaic, that has the potential to align your vibration with the energy of abundance. Before we get into the secret that could completely change your financial life, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from hearing this message. Also, leave a comment below to express your gratitude to the universe. When you do this, you're not just spreading positivity, you're also activating a cycle of energy that reverberates outward, bringing everything you desire back into your life. Now, let's get started. Aramaic is one of the oldest and most spiritually significant languages known to humanity. It was widely spoken in the Middle East during the time of Jesus, and many believe that he himself used Aramaic to convey his spiritual messages. But why is this important to us today? According to spiritual scholars, Aramaic carries a unique vibrational frequency that is deeply connected to the universe and its energies. This means that it is not just any ordinary language. It's a language with the power to subtly influence the physical world in profound ways. Aramaic words, especially those used in spiritual practices, are seen as keys to accessing higher vibrational frequencies. These frequencies are capable of influencing and shaping our reality in ways we may not even fully understand. Imagine having the ability to use a word that carries this energy to align your life with prosperity. The concept is simple. When you speak this word, you're not just making a sound, you're activating a frequency, a wave of energy that can actually transform your reality. It sounds powerful, doesn't it? But before I reveal this word, it's important that we first understand the context and depth of this practice. Let's talk about the power of words. You've likely heard that words have power, but what does that really mean? For countless spiritual leaders and mystics throughout history, words are so much more than just sounds. They carry a vibrational energy that can change the course of events. The right words, spoken at the right time, have the power to influence your reality. This is the foundation of the law of attraction. Everything in the universe vibrates, including our thoughts, emotions, and of course, our words. Words are like energetic seeds that we plant in the world, and they grow to shape our experiences. The vibrational frequency of Aramaic words, in particular, is incredibly powerful. As an ancient language, it's filled with spiritual meaning, and it emits a pure vibration that aligns perfectly with the universal energies. When you speak a word in Aramaic, you're not just making a sound. You're releasing a wave of energy into the world, a wave that aligns with your desires, helping you manifest them into your reality. But here's the thing. For this to work, you need more than just knowledge of the word itself. You need to truly understand how words influence your vibration and, consequently, your reality. If everything in the universe is energy, as the law of attraction suggests, then so are our words, thoughts, and feelings. When we speak, we emit vibrations that affect both the environment around us and ourselves. What we say creates ripples in the energy around us, and those ripples shape our experiences. Therefore, if you want to attract wealth, you need to align your vibration with the frequency of abundance. This is where the Aramaic word comes in. It acts as a true frequency tuner. It not only aligns your vibration, but also intensifies your connection with the universal flow of prosperity. That's what makes it so special. However, before revealing this magic word, it's crucial to understand that simply pronouncing a sound isn't enough. It takes more than that. The real key to manifesting wealth lies in the intention and emotion you put into using the word. There's no point in saying something mechanically without truly believing in what you're saying. The power of manifestation only occurs when there is a genuine connection between what you say and what you feel. This is one of the best-kept secrets of the law of attraction. So the first step is to align your mind and heart with the vibration of the word. How do you do this? First, you need to create a mental and emotional space that is conducive to manifestation. This means eliminating doubts and disbelief that may be blocking your path to prosperity. Now, imagine yourself in the near future, where you've already reaped the rewards of this learning. Visualize yourself living in abundance, with all your financial needs being met in a natural and fluid way. Feel what it would be like to have a life free from financial worries, where money flows to you abundantly and constantly. This visualization is an essential component of aligning your vibration with that of prosperity. When you can feel the excitement of already having what you want, you accelerate the manifestation process. And here comes another important aspect: repetition. It's not enough to say the word once and expect wealth to simply appear. The manifestation process requires persistence and dedication. By repeating the word, you are reinforcing the connection between your mind, your emotions, and the vibrational frequency of abundance. Each time you speak the word with intention, you strengthen this connection. Eventually, this will be reflected in your physical reality. So get ready to incorporate this practice into your daily routine. Remember, manifestation is not something that happens overnight, though in some cases, it may seem instantaneous. What really matters is consistency and faith in the process. By using this word daily, you will be sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive all the abundance it has to offer. And best of all, the manifestation of wealth can happen in unexpected ways, whether through a new opportunity, a salary increase, or even a financial surprise. The important thing is to be open to receive. Before venturing into manifesting wealth through the Aramaic word, mental and emotional preparation plays a crucial role. It's not enough to simply utter a powerful word. You must create the right environment for this practice to be effective. This includes not only choosing a quiet location, but also cultivating an internal state of peace and focus, which is necessary for your mind and energy to be completely aligned with your desires. Imagine yourself in a calm place, free from external distractions. It could be a quiet room in your home, an outdoor space where you feel connected to nature, or even a comfortable corner where you meditate. The important thing is that you are fully present in the moment. Breathe deeply and allow stress, anxiety, or any other negative emotions that are clouding your focus to gradually fade away. This is the essential first step to manifesting what you want. Your mind needs to be clear and focused. Visualizing your wealth before using the Aramaic word is another key part of this process. When you can imagine yourself already living the reality you want to manifest, you create an energetic field around you that begins to attract what you desire. Visualize yourself receiving large sums of money, achieving financial independence, or enjoying a life of abundance. The more vivid and clear this visualization is, the greater its impact on your manifestation practice. This preparation is actually what creates the foundation for effective Aramaic word usage. Without this emotional connection, without creating this conducive internal and external environment, words alone won't carry the full power they possess. No matter how powerful words may be, they will not have the desired effect without the right intention and emotional state behind them. Remember, words are vehicles of energy, but it is your intention and emotional state that guide that energy to the right place. Now, let's move on to the revelation of the Aramaic word itself. It is shlama. When spoken with intention, especially in the context of the law of attraction and manifesting wealth, shlama is much more than just peace in the sense of tranquility. It represents a state of harmony with the universe. When you say shlama, you are not only seeking a feeling of inner calm, you are declaring vibrationally that you are in complete alignment with the flow of abundance that permeates the universe. It's as if this word were a code, one that tunes your energy to the frequency of prosperity. But how does this happen? The secret lies in the vibration of the word itself. Words are much more than just sounds, they are manifestations of energy. Every word we speak has a vibrational frequency, and shlama is a word that, when spoken, reverberates with a particularly high and powerful frequency. This frequency not only resonates with peace, but also with prosperity, harmony, and abundance. By using it consciously, you are, in fact, opening doors for wealth to flow naturally into your life. Imagine yourself saying this word calmly, with intention, as you visualize yourself achieving your financial goals. When you speak shlama, you are connecting with this high vibrational frequency, adjusting your own energy to align with the flow of universal wealth. This is the key to manifesting wealth more easily. Now that you know the word, let's dive into how to use it practically. Repetition of shlama should be done regularly, incorporating it into your daily meditation routine, or even saying it before bed. The more you repeat the word, the more deeply you connect with its vibration. It's like tuning a radio station. The longer you stay on the right frequency, the clearer the signal becomes. One powerful practice that many law of attraction followers recommend is writing the word Shlama on a piece of paper and placing it under your pillow before bed. During sleep, our subconscious mind becomes more receptive, and this word, now carrying your intention of prosperity, begins to work on a deeper level, aligning your energies with abundance as you rest. Another ideal time to use this word is during your visualization practice, when you're visualizing your desires already fulfilled, whether it's living in a new house, traveling the world, or achieving your financial goals. Repeating Shlama helps anchor that visualization in reality. The vibration of the word strengthens the mental image you are creating, making the manifestation even more powerful. The key here is consistency. Shlama is not a magic word that instantly transforms your life. Rather, it is a powerful manifestation tool when used correctly. It is through conscious repetition and emotional connection that you begin to see changes in your financial life. By following these steps, using Shlama in your daily routine, and maintaining a clear visualization of your desires, you will start to notice significant shifts in your life. The manifestation of wealth often doesn't happen miraculously overnight. Instead, it manifests through opportunities, new paths, and a subtle change in your mindset. Over time, you will notice new doors opening, whether through a promotion at work, new business ideas, or even unexpected gains. Furthermore, one of the most profound effects of this practice is internal transformation. You will begin to develop an abundance mindset, seeing money not as something scarce, but as a continuous flow from the universe that is always available to you. That's the true power of Shlama. It not only attracts material wealth, but also changes your perception of money, making it something natural in your life. When you are in tune with this vibration, you stop worrying about lack and begin to feel worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer. And remember, continuous practice is key. Try using the word for at least 21 days in a row and notice the changes that begin to unfold. Manifestation often comes in ways you can't even imagine. Being open to these possibilities is the secret to receiving the wealth you desire.
Good evening, my friends. Tonight I'm going to share something with you that might sound unfair. In fact, it is unfair. Wildly, gloriously, magnificently unfair. And I'm not going to apologize for it. Because once you understand what I'm about to tell you, once you grasp the power you actually possess, you'll realize that those who know this secret are playing an entirely different game than everyone else. You have an unfair advantage. And tonight I'm going to show you how to use it. I'm talking about your imagination. Your ability to assume a reality that doesn't yet exist in the physical world, and through that assumption alone, bend your entire financial reality to match it. Let me tell you what most people do with money. They look at their current financial situation, the bank account, the salary, the bills, the debt, and they accept it as reality. They call it being realistic. They call it facing facts. And from that acceptance of limitation, they try to improve their situation. They work harder, they save more, they cut expenses, they hustle, they grind, they sacrifice. And maybe if they're lucky, if the economy cooperates, if their boss is generous, if nothing unexpected happens, maybe they improve their situation by 5%, 10% if they're really fortunate. This is the game everyone plays. The game of incremental improvement from a foundation of lack. But you don't have to play that game. Because you have imagination. And imagination is the most unfair advantage that has ever existed. With your imagination, you don't improve your financial reality by 5%. You don't gradually climb from where you are to where you want to be. You simply assume you're already there, and reality bends to match your assumption. Not gradually, suddenly, completely. Inevitably. This isn't theory. This isn't philosophy. This is the most practical thing I've ever taught. Because while everyone else is grinding away at their limitations, you're going to use your imagination to dissolve those limitations entirely. Here's what makes this unfair. Two people can start with the exact same financial situation, same income, same debt, same circumstances. One person accepts their situation as reality and works within its limitations. The other person refuses to accept it, assumes wealth in imagination, and lets reality reorganize itself. 3 months later, they're living in completely different financial worlds. Not because of luck, not because of privilege, not because of external opportunity, because one person knew the secret and the other didn't. Is that fair? Absolutely not. The person who discovered oil on their property didn't work harder than their neighbor. The person who invented something valuable wasn't more deserving than someone else. The person who received an unexpected inheritance wasn't morally superior. They simply aligned with wealth in consciousness. And wealth found them. And now you're going to learn how to do the same thing. Deliberately, consciously, powerfully. Here's the truth that very few people understand. Your financial reality is not fixed. It's not solid. It's not determined by external forces. Your financial reality is fluid. It's consciousness made visible. And consciousness can be changed instantly. The physical world, the bank accounts, the bills, the paychecks, these are effects. They're shadows cast by consciousness. And when you change consciousness, the shadows must change. Most people try to change the shadows directly. They push against their circumstances. They fight their limitations. They try to rearrange the effects. But you're not going to do that. You're going to change the consciousness that's casting the shadow. And when you do, the entire financial picture must reorganize itself to match. This is unfair because it means you don't have to work harder than everyone else to have more than everyone else. You just have to assume differently. There was a woman who came to one of my lectures. She had exactly $300 to her name. Rent was due in 2 weeks. She needed at least $1,200. She told me she'd been thinking about how to stretch the $300, how to borrow the rest, how to explain to her landlord that she'd be late. I stopped her. You're thinking from lack. I said, you're trying to manipulate the shadow. Instead, use your imagination to change the light. She didn't understand at first. So I made it simple. Tonight I said, don't think about the $300. Don't worry about the $1,200 you need. Instead, imagine you're holding your rent receipt. It's paid. You feel relief. You feel secure. You're not trying to figure out how it happened. You're simply experiencing the fact that it happened. Live in that reality in your imagination. She agreed to try. For 5 days, she did nothing but imagine her rent was paid. She felt it. She experienced it. She lived in that assumption. She didn't know how. She didn't plan when. She just assumed it was done. On the 6th day, a former client called her. A project she'd worked on a year ago had been relicensed, and she was owed royalties she didn't even know were coming. The check arrived the next day. Exactly $1,200. Her rent was paid. Her imagination bent reality to match her assumption. And here's the unfair part. She didn't work any harder than someone else who might have struggled for months to earn that money. She simply used her imagination. I want you to understand something crucial. Your imagination is not a toy. It's not a pleasant pastime. It's not just daydreaming. Your imagination is the most powerful creative force in your life. It's how you bend reality. It's your unfair advantage in a world where most people don't even know the game they're playing. When you imagine something and assume it's real, you're not wishing. You're not hoping. You're not pretending. You're creating. You're commanding. You're bending the very fabric of your financial reality to match your assumption. Most people use their imagination against themselves. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They picture themselves failing. They assume lack, struggle, limitation. And reality obeys. It bends to match those dark imaginings. But you're going to do the opposite. You're going to use your imagination as it was meant to be used, as a weapon of creation, a tool of transformation, an instrument of financial freedom. Here's what I want you to do. And if you do this faithfully, your financial reality will bend so dramatically that people will ask you what happened, and you won't even know how to explain it to them. Tonight before you sleep, close your eyes and imagine a scene that implies you are financially free. Don't imagine the money itself. Imagine what having the money would allow you to experience. Maybe you imagine receiving a bank statement that shows abundance. Maybe you imagine a friend congratulating you on your financial success. Maybe you imagine yourself making a purchase you've always wanted without any concern about the cost. Whatever scene you choose, make it real. Feel it, hear the sounds, see the colors, experience the emotions. Make it so vivid that for those few moments before sleep, it's not imagination, it's memory. And here's the key: fall asleep in that scene. Let it be the last thing your conscious mind experiences before sleep takes you, because sleep is the doorway. In sleep, your assumption sinks deep into your subconscious mind, where it has the power to reorganize your entire reality. Do this every single night, not as a technique you're trying, as a reality you're living in imagination until it becomes your reality in physical form. I knew a businessman whose company was failing. He was weeks away from bankruptcy. His employees didn't know, his family didn't know, but he knew, and the weight of it was crushing him. He came to me in desperation. I've tried everything. I've worked 18-hour days. I've cut costs everywhere. I've pursued every possible client. Nothing works. The money just isn't there. Good, I said. He looked at me as if I'd lost my mind. Good? Yes, good. Because now you've exhausted all the usual methods. Now you're ready to use the unfair method. I taught him what I'm teaching you. Assume success in imagination. Live in it. Breathe it. Be it. Not as a future goal, but as a present fact. Every night he imagined his business thriving. He heard employees celebrating. He felt the satisfaction of abundance. He saw the numbers that proved success. He didn't know how this could happen. His logical mind said it was impossible, but he did it anyway because he had nothing left to lose. Within 6 weeks, everything changed. A competitor made an unexpected offer to partner with him. A product he'd shelved years ago suddenly found a market. A client he'd written off came back with a massive contract. His business didn't just survive, it exploded. Within a year, he tripled his previous revenue. Was it fair? No. He didn't work 3 times harder. He didn't suddenly become 3 times smarter. He simply used his imagination to bend his financial reality. And reality bent. You know what's interesting? Most people, even when they hear about this, won't use it. They'll nod along. They'll think it sounds nice, but they won't actually do it. And do you know why? Because deep down, they don't believe they have this power. They don't believe their imagination can actually bend reality. They think it's too good to be true, too easy, too unfair. And so they go back to the hard way, the realistic way, the way that keeps them struggling for inches when they could be leaping miles. But not you. You're different. Because you're still here, still listening, still wanting to understand. You sense the truth in this. You recognize that there's something here that could change everything. So let me ask you directly. Are you willing to use an unfair advantage? Are you willing to bend your financial reality through imagination while others grind away at their circumstances? Are you willing to assume wealth so completely that the universe has no choice but to deliver it? If your answer is yes, then listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. This isn't complicated, but it is specific. And the specificity matters. First, identify your financial desire. Not in vague terms like more money, but in specific feelings. How would you feel if your finances were exactly as you wanted them? Relief? Security? Freedom? Joy? Identify that feeling. Second, create a simple scene that implies that feeling. Don't make it elaborate. Simple is better. Maybe you're checking your bank account and smiling. Maybe you're telling someone money is no longer a concern for me. Maybe you're making a purchase you've wanted without hesitation. One simple scene that implies your financial freedom. Third, every night, before sleep, live in that scene, not as fantasy, not as wishful thinking, as experience. Feel it real, make it so vivid that you forget you're imagining it. For those few moments, you're not in your current financial reality. You're in the reality you're creating. Fourth, fall asleep in that feeling. This is crucial. Don't imagine the scene and then return to worry about your bills. Imagine the scene and drift into sleep while still feeling its reality. Let that assumption be the seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. Fifth, let it go during the day. Don't obsess about when or how it will manifest. You've planted the seed. Trust it's growing. Live your day from the assumption that it's already done, even if the physical evidence hasn't caught up yet. Do this faithfully for at least 30 days. Not half-heartedly. Not occasionally. Faithfully. Every single night. And watch as your financial reality begins to bend. I've seen this work thousands of times. I've watched people go from poverty to prosperity, from debt to wealth, from financial chaos to financial peace, not through hard work alone, not through lucky breaks, through the deliberate use of imagination to bend their financial reality. If you use this unfair advantage, if you assume wealth in your imagination with the same faith that you currently assume limitation, your financial world will transform. Not because you deserve it more than others, not because you're special, but because you understood the law and applied it. This is your unfair advantage. While others accept their financial limitations as reality, you recognize them as shadows that can be changed by changing the light of consciousness. While others work harder within their limitations, you use imagination to dissolve those limitations entirely. While others hope and wish and wait, you assume and persist and manifest. I want to end with this thought. Life is not the game you thought it was. You thought the game was about working hard, saving money, making smart investments, and hoping for the best. But that's not the game. That's just what people who don't know the rules are doing. The real game is this. Consciousness creates reality. And whoever masters their consciousness masters their reality. Your financial situation is not determined by the economy, by your education, by your background, by your current circumstances. Your financial situation is determined by your assumptions in consciousness. Change your assumptions and you bend your financial reality. This is the most unfair advantage that exists. And now you know it. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Thank you, and good evening. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I'll see you in the next video.
I'm going to tell you something that will make you angry at first, then grateful forever. Every financial struggle you've ever faced wasn't because you weren't smart enough, didn't work hard enough, or weren't lucky enough. It was because nobody taught you the one thing that separates the wealthy from everyone else. And it's not what you think. Stay with me for the next few minutes, because once you understand this invisible force, your relationship with money will never be the same. I spent years wondering why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, while others grind themselves into the ground and barely survive. Then I discovered something that changed everything. The wealthy have a secret that sounds almost too simple to believe. They don't chase money, they become money magnets. They understand that wealth isn't something you hunt down, it's something you call in. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how desperate energy repels what you want most? The harder you chase a relationship, the faster they run. The more you need approval, the less respect you get. Money works exactly the same way. I used to wake up every morning calculating bills, stressing about payments, wondering how I'd make it through another month. And the universe kept giving me exactly what I was broadcasting. More reasons to worry about money. But then I learned something that flipped everything. Right now, as you're listening this, you're broadcasting a signal. Not through your phone or computer, but through your own energy field. And that signal is either attracting or repelling wealth every single second. Most people are unknowingly transmitting poverty frequencies all day long. They worry about bills, stress about the future, feel guilty about wanting more, and then wonder why money feels so hard to come by. Here's what nobody tells you about your energy field. You are literally a walking radio station, broadcasting your deepest beliefs about money 24/7. And the universe? It's listening to every single transmission. When your internal radio plays songs like "I can't afford this," or "money is hard to come by," or "I'm not good with money," guess what kind of experiences get sent your way? But what if you could change the station? Everything in existence vibrates at a specific frequency. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, they all carry energetic signatures. And wealth has its own unique frequency. The people who seem to effortlessly attract money, they've learned to match wealth's frequency. They've tuned their internal radio to the abundance station. I remember the first time I truly felt this shift. I was walking down the street, and instead of my usual money anxiety, I felt this calm certainty that everything was working out. Within 48 hours, I received an unexpected check and 2 new opportunities. Coincidence? Not even close. This is where it gets really interesting. Your heart generates an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than your brain. That means your feelings about money are creating a magnetic pull far more powerful than your thoughts about money. You can think positive thoughts all day, but if your heart is broadcasting fear, scarcity, or unworthiness, that's the signal the universe receives. I discovered something profound. Your assumptions, not your actions, create your reality. Most people assume they have to work harder to earn more. They assume money is scarce. They assume wealthy people are different from them. But what if you assumed something completely different? What if you assumed money flows easily to you? What if you assumed you're naturally magnetic to opportunities? What if you assumed wealth is your birthright? I started a simple experiment. Instead of assuming I had to struggle for money, I assumed money sought me out. I walked into meetings, assuming I was valuable. I checked my bank account, assuming good news. The results were immediate and undeniable. Here's the part that will blow your mind. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what you're assuming and what's actually happening. So when you consistently assume wealth, your subconscious starts creating circumstances that match that assumption. Most people try to think their way to wealth, but thinking is just the surface level. The real magic happens when you feel your way to wealth. Here's a technique that completely rewired my relationship with money. Every morning, before checking your phone or getting out of bed, spend 5 minutes feeling what it's like to already have the wealth you desire, not visualizing it, feeling it. Feel the relief of never worrying about bills. Feel the excitement of unlimited choices. Feel the peace of financial security. Feel the joy of being generous without thinking twice. Let these feelings saturate your entire being. Let them become familiar. Let them become your new normal. Because here's what happens when you do this consistently. Your subconscious mind starts to believe this is your reality. Your energy field shifts. Your actions change. Your opportunities multiply. Not because you're pretending, but because you've literally rewired your magnetic frequency. Everything begins with a state of consciousness. Poor people live in the state of lack. Rich people live in the state of abundance. And here's the secret most people miss. You don't have to wait for money to show up before you enter the state of abundance. You can enter that state right now, and then money has no choice but to follow. How do you enter this state? Through a technique I call living from the end. Instead of living from your current circumstances, you live from your desired end result. You don't think about becoming wealthy. You think from already being wealthy. Every decision I make, I ask myself, how would the wealthy version of me handle this? Then I act from that place. Not from where I am, But from where I'm going, this single shift changes everything. Your imagination isn't just daydreaming. It's the workshop where reality is built. Every single thing that exists was first imagined by someone. Here's a nightly practice that programs wealth into your subconscious. Every night before sleep, construct a short scene that implies your wealth has already materialized. Maybe you're signing a major deal. Maybe you're looking at your investment portfolio. Maybe you're in your dream home. But here's the crucial part. Don't watch this scene like a movie. Live it from inside your own body. See through your own eyes. Feel the pen in your hand. Smell the leather of the chair. Hear the congratulations. Loop this scene as you drift off to sleep. Your subconscious will take this imagined experience and start working to make it physical reality. Students who practice this consistently report unexpected money appearing, new opportunities manifesting, business deals closing faster than ever before. Why? Because they've given their subconscious mind a blueprint to work from. Money doesn't respond to hope. It doesn't answer to maybe. It doesn't flow toward uncertainty. Money responds to one frequency only: absolute confidence. Not fake it till you make it confidence, not surface level bravado, deep cellular certainty that wealth is inevitable for you. I noticed that every time I desperately needed money, it never showed up. But every time I felt calm confidence that it would appear, it did. Money was responding to my internal state, not my external circumstances. Here's how to build this unshakable confidence. Every morning, stand in front of a mirror and declare your wealth identity out loud. Not affirmations you don't believe, but identity statements that feel true. I am someone money flows to easily. I am a natural at creating wealth. I am respected and well compensated for my value. Say it until your reflection starts nodding back. Most people treat money like a scarce resource. The wealthy treat it like energy in motion. Energy that flows grows. Energy that stagnates dies. If you're hoarding every penny out of fear, you're sending a scarcity signal to the universe. Start moving small amounts of money daily. Buy someone coffee. Tip generously. Make a small investment. The amount doesn't matter. The energy of circulation does. I started carrying cash just to feel it, touch it, and spend it intentionally. Money stopped feeling foreign and started feeling familiar. This simple shift changed my entire relationship with abundance. But here's where most people sabotage themselves. Your energy field is constantly being influenced by the people around you. Broke-minded people don't just think poor thoughts. They broadcast poor frequencies that contaminate everyone in their vicinity. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I was doing all the right practices, feeling abundant, assuming wealth, and then I'd spend time with certain people and feel completely drained. Their complaints about money, their fear-based advice, their scarcity mindset was literally reprogramming my frequency. The moment I started protecting my energy field like a precious resource, money started flowing faster than ever before. Ask yourself honestly, who in your life makes you feel more abundant when you're around them? Who makes you feel more worried about money? Your wealth acceleration depends on surrounding yourself with the first group and limiting exposure to the second. Here's something that will completely change how you handle challenges. Every obstacle, every setback, every no you receive isn't blocking your wealth. It's redirecting energy that you can transform into money. I call this resistance alchemy. Instead of seeing problems as problems, you see them as raw energy that can be transformed into solutions, opportunities, and ultimately wealth. When I lost a major client, instead of panicking, I asked, what is this making room for? Within 2 weeks, I landed 3 new clients who paid more than the one I lost. The universe was upgrading my entire situation. Every wealthy person understands this principle. They don't avoid resistance, they alchemize resistance. They don't fear failure, they extract the energy from it and redirect it towards success. The difference between people who get rich once and people who stay rich is this. They don't just learn to attract wealth, they learn to stabilize at wealth frequency. Most people hit a money breakthrough and then immediately drop back to their old patterns. They visit abundance, but live in survival. Here's how to make wealth your permanent frequency. Anchor 1. Identity maintenance. Every morning, remind yourself who you are. I am someone who naturally attracts wealth. Anchor 2. Evidence collection. Keep a daily log of every sign that money is flowing to you. The discount, the refund, the unexpected opportunity. Anchor 3. Frequency protection. Guard your energy field like your life depends on it, because your wealth does. When you master these 3 anchors, wealth stops being something that comes and goes. It becomes your baseline, your foundation, your new normal. Here's the technique that creates the fastest results. For the next 21 days, you're going to install a new assumption about yourself. Pick one core belief about your relationship with money and repeat it 100 times per day. Money seeks me out. I am financially magnetic. Wealth is my natural state. Not because you're trying to convince yourself, but because you're programming your subconscious operating system with new software. I challenge you to try this for just 7 days and watch what happens. Most people report noticeable shifts by day 3. When you master this, you're not just changing your own life. You're changing the entire energetic field around you. Your family starts thinking differently about money. Your friends start having breakthrough conversations. Your community begins to shift. You become a lighthouse of abundance, showing others what's possible when you align with wealth frequency instead of fighting against it. The greatest gift you can give the world is your own abundance. Not because money itself is spiritual, but because financial freedom allows you to express your highest purpose without constraint. Everything I've shared with you today comes down to this single moment. Right now, you get to choose. You can continue living from the frequency of scarcity, struggle, and lack. Or you can step into the frequency of abundance, ease, and magnetic attraction. The universe is waiting for your signal. Your subconscious is ready for new programming. Your energy field is prepared to shift. I remember the exact moment I made this choice. I was sitting in my car, stressed about bills, when I realized I had been choosing struggle every single day through my thoughts, feelings, and assumptions. I decided to choose differently, and everything changed. Money was never supposed to be hard. Abundance was never supposed to be earned through suffering. Wealth was always meant to flow to you naturally, magnetically, effortlessly. You are not separate from abundance. You are abundance expressing itself in human form. From this moment forward, you're no longer someone who chases money. You're someone who calls it in. You're no longer someone who struggles for wealth. You're someone who naturally magnetizes it. Welcome to your new frequency. Welcome to your magnetic reality. Welcome to the abundant life you were always meant to live. If something inside you just shifted, if you felt that familiar tingle of recognition, if part of you said, yes, this is what I've been missing, then this is your moment. Don't let this feeling fade. Subscribe right now to keep this frequency alive. Every video on this channel is designed to strengthen your wealth magnetism and keep you tuned to abundance. Drop a comment below and declare, I am a wealth magnet. Let the universe see your commitment. Let the algorithm amplify your intention. Let yourself hear your new identity spoken out loud. Your transformation begins the moment you claim it. The old version of you who struggled with money, that person no longer exists. The new you, the magnetic you, the abundant you, the wealthy you is stepping forward right now. This is your moment. This is your frequency. This is your new reality. Welcome home to wealth.
Good evening, my friends. Tonight I am going to tell you something that will shock you, something that contradicts the entire positive thinking movement that has swept the world. Stop being positive. Stop trying to think positive thoughts. Stop forcing yourself to feel positive emotions. Stop pretending everything is wonderful when it is not. Because positive thinking, as it is commonly practiced, is one of the greatest obstacles to true manifestation. I can see the confusion on your faces. But Neville, you're thinking, haven't you taught us that our thoughts create reality? That we should think about what we want, not what we don't want? Yes, I have taught this. But there is a vast difference between conscious creation through assumption and the desperate, exhausting practice of positive thinking that most people engage in. And tonight, I am going to show you that difference. I am going to teach you what to be instead of positive. And when you understand this, when you make this shift, you will discover a power far greater than positive thinking could ever provide. Let me explain what is wrong with positive thinking. As most people practice it, positive thinking, as taught by the masses, is a reaction to negativity. It is an attempt to cover up negative feelings with positive thoughts. It is forcing yourself to smile when you want to cry. It is repeating affirmations while your heart screams the opposite. It is pretending everything is fine when you are actually drowning. This is not creation. This is suppression. And suppression does not change reality. It only buries your true feelings deeper, where they continue to create from the shadows. Watch what happens when someone practices positive thinking. They wake up feeling anxious about money. So they tell themselves, I am abundant. Money flows to me easily. But underneath the words, the anxiety remains. They are not changing their state. They are covering it up. They look at their empty bed and feel lonely. So they affirm, I am loved. My perfect partner is coming to me. But the loneliness is still there, hidden beneath the positive words. They are not creating love. They are denying loneliness. They receive a medical diagnosis and feel afraid. So they declare, I am perfectly healthy. My body is healing. But the fear persists, masked by positive statements. They are not assuming health. They are fighting sickness. This is the great deception of positive thinking. It keeps you in a state of resistance. You are resisting what is trying to cover it up with what you wish were true. And resistance is not creation. Resistance is struggle. And struggle cannot manifest. Here is what most people do not understand. It is not the words that create. It is the state of consciousness from which the words arise. You can speak the most positive affirmations. You can visualize the most wonderful outcomes. You can paste your walls with vision boards. But if underneath all of this, your consciousness is rooted in lack, in fear, in unworthiness, then lack, fear, and unworthiness is what you will create. The universe does not respond to your words. It responds to your state. And no amount of positive thinking can change your state if you are using positive thinking to avoid feeling what you actually feel. Let me tell you about a woman who came to me exhausted from positive thinking. She had been affirming abundance for 3 years. She had vision boards. She had mantras. She had positive affirmations on sticky notes all over her house. But she was still broke. In fact, her financial situation had gotten worse. I asked her, when you speak these affirmations, what do you feel? She said, I feel like I'm trying really hard to believe them. I feel like if I stop saying them, everything will fall apart. I feel desperate to make them true. There is your problem, I said. You are not creating from abundance. You are creating from desperation disguised as positivity. The universe does not hear your words. It feels your state. And your state is desperation, covered with a thin layer of positive thinking. She began to cry. But if I stop being positive, won't everything get worse? Won't I attract more negativity? No, I replied. Because I am not asking you to be negative. I am asking you to be something far more powerful than either positive or negative. I am asking you to be certain. Here is what you should be. Instead of positive, be certain. Certainty is not positive or negative. Certainty is beyond both. Certainty is the unshakable knowing that what you desire is already yours. Regardless of current circumstances, regardless of evidence, regardless of what anyone else says or believes. Positive thinking says, I hope this works. I'm trying to believe, I'm focusing on the good. Certainty says, it is already done. There is nothing to hope for because it already is. There is nothing to try to believe because I already know. Do you see the difference? Positive thinking is effort. Certainty is rest. Positive thinking is hoping. Certainty is knowing. Positive thinking looks toward a desired future. Certainty recognizes a present fact. When you are certain, you do not need to be positive. You do not need to cover up negative feelings with positive thoughts. You simply know what is true, and you rest in that knowing. Think about something you are absolutely certain of. Perhaps that the sun will rise tomorrow. Perhaps that your name is your name. Do you need to think positively about these things? Do you need to affirm them? Do you need to convince yourself they are true? No. You simply know them. You are certain. And that certainty requires no effort, no maintenance, no positive thinking. This is the state you must cultivate for your desires. Not positive hoping, but certain knowing. So how do you become certain about something that has not yet appeared in your physical reality? How do you know something is yours when your senses tell you it is not? The answer lies in understanding where reality truly exists. Reality does not exist in the physical world. The physical world is merely a reflection, a shadow, an echo of reality. True reality exists in consciousness. When you desire something, and you assume in consciousness that it is already yours, it is yours at the level of reality that matters. It exists in consciousness, and consciousness is the only creative power. Once something exists in consciousness, its appearance in the physical world is inevitable. It is already done. This is how you cultivate certainty. You recognize that your desire is not something you must bring into existence. It already exists in consciousness the moment you assume it. And consciousness always projects itself into physical form. You are not hoping it will manifest. You are not trying to make it happen. You know it is already accomplished in consciousness. And you are simply waiting for the physical world to catch up and reflect what is already true. This knowing, this certainty requires no positive thinking. It requires no effort to maintain. It is simply a fact that you accept like you accept any other fact of your existence. Let me give you a practical example. The woman I mentioned earlier, who was exhausted from positive thinking, I taught her to replace her desperate affirmations with simple statements of certainty. Instead of saying money is flowing to me, with desperate hope, I taught her to say calmly and with finality, money is mine. It is already accomplished in consciousness. The physical appearance is just a matter of time. Instead of trying to feel positive about her empty bank account, I taught her to simply know I am financially secure. This is a fact in consciousness. The numbers will update to reflect this fact. No strain, no force, no desperate positivity, just calm, certain knowing. Within 2 months her income had tripled. But more importantly, she was at peace. She was no longer exhausted from trying to be positive. She was resting in certainty. Now let me clarify something important. What I am teaching you is not faith as opposed to positive thinking. Faith and certainty are the same thing. True faith is not hoping something will happen. It is knowing it is already done. It is certainty about the unseen reality of consciousness. The Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Most people read this and think faith is about hoping. But look more carefully. Faith is the substance, the actual reality of what you hope for. Faith is the evidence, the proof of what you cannot yet see. Faith is not hoping your desire will manifest. Faith is knowing your desire already exists in consciousness, which is the only reality that matters. This is certainty, and this is what positive thinking tries to be but fails to achieve. Positive thinking is hoping dressed up as confidence. Certainty is knowing that requires no dress. Now you may be wondering if I am not supposed to cover up negative feelings with positive thoughts. What am I supposed to do with them? The answer is simple. Observe them, acknowledge them, and then choose your state of consciousness regardless of them. When you feel anxious about money, do not try to think positive thoughts to make the anxiety go away. That is resistance. Instead, observe the anxiety. Acknowledge it. I am feeling anxious. Then choose your state. But anxiety is not my reality. My reality is abundance, which already exists in consciousness. I choose to rest in that certainty. When you feel lonely, do not force positive affirmations to cover the loneliness. Acknowledge it. I am feeling lonely right now. Then choose. But loneliness is a temporary feeling, not my permanent state. My reality is that I am loved. This is true in consciousness. And consciousness is what creates my experience. Do you see the difference? You are not denying your feelings. You are not suppressing them. You are not covering them up with false positivity. You are simply recognizing that feelings are temporary reactions to temporary circumstances. But your chosen state of consciousness is your true reality. This is mature spiritual practice. Not the childish game of pretending everything is wonderful, but the powerful choice to identify with your desired state, even while acknowledging current feelings and circumstances. Here is another important truth. Certainty does not require you to feel good all the time. Positive thinking says you must always feel happy, always feel abundant, always feel loving. If you feel bad, you are told you are attracting negativity, and you must immediately shift to positive thoughts. But certainty knows that you can feel however you feel, and it does not change what is true in consciousness. You can feel anxious and still be certain of abundance. You can feel lonely and still be certain of love. You can feel doubt and still be certain of your manifestation. Why? Because certainty is not a feeling. Certainty is a knowing, and knowing is deeper than feeling. You can feel all kinds of ways throughout your day, but underneath every feeling, there can be an unshakable knowing that your desire is already accomplished in consciousness. This knowing does not require constant positive emotion. It simply is. This is tremendously liberating. You no longer have to police your emotions. You no longer have to feel guilty when you have a bad day. You no longer have to force yourself to feel positive when you do not. You simply return to what you know. It is already done in consciousness. That is enough. So if you are not trying to be positive, how do you speak about your desires? How do you think about them? How do you maintain your manifestation without positive thinking? The answer is through calm assertion. Calm assertion is stating what is true in consciousness with the same certainty you would state any other fact. No excitement, no force, no desperate hope. Just simple, calm declaration of what is. Instead of excitedly affirming, I am so abundant, money is flowing to me from everywhere, you calmly assert, I am financially secure. This is established in consciousness. Instead of desperately visualizing your desire for hours, you briefly acknowledge, this is already mine in the dimension where all creation takes place. I claim it as my reality. Instead of constantly checking for signs and trying to stay positive about your manifestation, you simply know it is done. The physical world will reflect this in its own time. Notice the energy difference. Positive thinking is high energy, effortful, often desperate. Certainty is calm, settled, at rest. Which energy do you think is more powerful? Which energy suggests someone who truly has what they desire? If you truly owned a mansion, would you be excitedly affirming, I have a mansion, all day long? No. You would simply live in the mansion. You would take it for granted as a normal part of your life. This is the energy of certainty. This is what you should be instead of positive. Let me give you the ultimate distinction between positive thinking and certainty. Positive thinking tries to create reality. Certainty knows reality is already created in consciousness. Positive thinking is work, certainty is rest. Positive thinking looks to the future. Certainty recognizes the eternal now where all things already are. Positive thinking needs constant maintenance. Certainty is self-sustaining. Positive thinking fears negativity. Certainty is unmoved by temporary feelings and circumstances. Positive thinking is exhausting. Certainty is peaceful. So tonight I want you to make a commitment. Stop trying to be positive. Stop forcing positive thoughts. Stop covering up real feelings with fake positivity. Instead, cultivate certainty. Know that what you desire already exists in consciousness. Know that consciousness is the only creative power. Know that once something exists in consciousness, its physical manifestation is inevitable. Rest in this knowing. Return to this knowing. Live from this knowing. This is not positive thinking. This is something far more powerful. This is the certainty that moves mountains, that parts seas, that manifests the impossible. Be certain, be unshakable, be at rest in the knowledge that it is already done, and watch as your world transforms, not through the exhausting effort of positive thinking, but through the calm, certain knowing of one who understands where reality truly exists and how it truly operates. Stop being positive and be certain instead. Thank you, and good evening. As always, thank you for joining me on this journey into the depths of consciousness. Remember, you are not here by accident. You are here because your soul is ready for this truth. Take these teachings and let them transform not just your mind, but your entire reality. Until we meet again in consciousness, keep assuming your greatness and living from the end of your desires. This is Best of Lectures, and I'll see you in the next video.
How do you believe in something when every physical sense, every rational thought, and every logical conclusion screams that it's impossible? This is the greatest mystery and yet holds the key to mastering your world. Imagine, if you will, standing before a massive wall of facts, cold, hard facts that tell you what you desire cannot be. Perhaps it's a medical report with undeniable statistics, a bank statement showing insufficient funds, or circumstances that appear permanently fixed against your desires. Your reason says, this is impossible. Yet I tell you, this very moment, that the impossible is the unrecognized expression of a higher law. Let me share with you a story of one of my students. She came to me with tears in her eyes, clutching medical reports that stated she would never bear children. 3 specialists had confirmed it, and her rational mind accepted this as her reality. But she dared to do something remarkable. She dared to live in the end. Every night, as she drifted off to sleep, she felt the wake of a baby in her arms. She heard the soft croos, felt the gentle breathing, experienced the warmth of holding her child. Her senses denied it, her doctors denied it, the world denied it, but she persisted in her assumption. Today she cradles not an imaginary child, but her flesh and blood daughter. How? By understanding that what we call reality is simply the outer picture of accepted beliefs. You see, your logical mind is both your greatest ally and your most formidable opponent. It's designed to keep you safe, to process what it knows, to rely on past experiences and current evidence. But I tell you this, your logical mind deals only with shadows, with reflections of past beliefs. It knows nothing of the creative power that dwells within you. Consider this. Everything in your world, from the chair you're sitting on to the most advanced technology, was once seemed impossible. It was once merely a thought, an idea that reason denied could ever be manifest. The Wright brothers were told human flight was impossible. The concept of instantaneous global communication was once considered madness. Every medical breakthrough, every technological advancement, every human achievement began as something reason denied. The secret lies in understanding that your consciousness, your awareness of being, precedes all evidence. Think of it this way. When you enter a dark room and flip the switch, you doubt that light will flood the space. No, you have absolute confidence in this outcome based on countless experiences. Yet if you had never seen electricity or its effects, such an expectation would seem foolish, impossible. Your current desires, your goals, your aspirations, they are no different from that light switch. The only difference is your level of conviction. Now let me share with you the fundamental principles that will enable you to believe despite all contrary evidence. First, understand that your consciousness is the only reality. Everything you see in your world, simply consciousness pushed out. Every person, every circumstance, every condition is simply your consciousness objectified. This means that your current situation, no matter how seemingly solid, is nothing more than a shadow of past beliefs. The second principle is this: the future is created twice, first in your consciousness, and then in your world of effects. Most people wait for circumstances to change before they believe in the desire's fulfillment. This is like waiting for a reflection in the mirror to smile before you do. It's backward thinking, and it keeps you bound to current circumstances. Instead, you must dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, regardless of apparent contradictions. If you desire financial abundance, you must capture and maintain the feeling of wealth, security, and generosity, even as your bank account shows otherwise. If you seek perfect health, you must live from the assumption of vibrant well-being, even as current symptoms persist. This is not denial, this is a correct use of your creative power. But how, you might ask, can one maintain such a belief in the face of contrary evidence? The secret lies in your ability to lose yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you go to sleep at night, do you doubt that the sun will rise tomorrow? Of course not. You have absolute faith in this natural law. Similarly, you must cultivate that same level of certainty in your desired end. Let me share with you a profound technique that I've seen transform countless lives. When you lie down to sleep tonight, instead of rehearsing your problems or reviewing your day, create a simple scene that would imply your desire is already fulfilled. Make it short, make it clear, and make it natural. Perhaps it's a friend congratulating you on your achievement. Maybe it's looking at your bank statement with a sense of satisfaction. Whatever your desire, create a scene that would naturally occur if your wish were realized. Now here's the crucial part that most miss. You must enter the scene fully. Don't watch it like a movie. Be the protagonist in your own drama. Feel the handshake, hear the words, experience the emotions that would accompany your fulfilled desire. Your rational mind would protest, will present evidence of impossibility, will remind you of past failures. But remember that your present circumstances are nothing more than the harvest of seeds planted in your past. They have no power to determine your future unless you give them that power through your attention and belief. I recall a gentleman who attended my lectures years ago. He was facing bankruptcy, his business crumbling around him. Every financial advisor, every market indicator, every rational assessment predicted his complete ruin. But he grasped this principle, and every night, in his imagination, he would sit at his desk, looking at his books, feeling the relief and satisfaction of his business thriving. His accountant thought him delusional, his partners thought him in denial, but he persisted in his assumption. Within 6 months, a series of coincidences, though I tell you there are no coincidences, transformed his business completely. You see, the world is not operating the way your senses suggest. Your senses show you effects, while your imagination deals with causes. When you change the cause, your conscious assumption, the effects must follow, for this is law. It's not hope. It's not positive thinking. It's not mere wishful thinking. It's the deliberate use of the creative power within you. Figure it this way: your consciousness is like a garden, and your assumptions are the seeds you plant. Your current circumstances are merely the harvest of past planting. If you don't like what you're harvesting, you must change what you're planting. But here's the vital point: you don't wait until you see the new crop before you believe in it. The farmer plants with absolute faith in the harvest, even though no evidence of that harvest exists at the time of planting. The key to maintaining your belief in the face of contrary evidence lies in understanding time. Your physical senses are bound by time. They can only report what is. But your imagination is not bound by time. In your imagination, you can be and do and have any heating desire. When you've lived from the end, when you persistently occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, you're actually experiencing your future now. This is why I tell you that what you desire already exists in what I call the fourth dimensional world of consciousness. Let me give you a practical example. Suppose you desire a promotion at work, but all evidence suggests it's impossible. There are no openings, you lack certain qualifications, others have more seniority. Instead of accepting these facts, you create a scene implying the promotion is yours. Perhaps it's as simple as hearing a colleague congratulate you or signing documents with your new title. You enter this scene every night, feeling its naturalness, experiencing the satisfaction and pride that would be yours. Now your rational mind will present all the reasons this cannot be. It will remind you of your lack of qualifications, the competition, the economic climate. This is where most people falter. They give power to these facts and abandon their assumption. But I tell you this, those very facts that seem so solid, so unchangeable, are nothing more than shadows of past beliefs. They have no power to create or prevent, except that which you give them through your attention and belief. Consider for a moment the nature of your own faults and beliefs. Every limitation you cannot experience, every obstacle you face was first detected in your consciousness before it became a physical fact. The outer world is dead, passive, and purely mechanical. It has no power to create, to alter, or to sustain itself. It merely reflects, with mathematical precision, the beliefs held in consciousness. Let me share another extraordinary example that illustrates this principle perfectly. A woman in my audience once approached me, devastated by a relationship that had ended. Every attempt at reconciliation had failed, and all external evidence suggested it was truly over. Instead of accepting this reality, she began to sleep in the assumption that they were happily together. In her imagination, she felt his presence beside her, heard his breathing, experienced the warmth of their connection. Her friends called her delusional, her family urged her to face reality, but she persisted in her assumption. Now, watch this carefully. She didn't try to make it happen in the external world. She didn't pursue him, didn't scheme or plan. She simply lived in the end, feeling the naturalness of being with him. Within weeks, through a series of events that no one could have predicted or orchestrated, they were reunited. The external circumstances rearranged themselves to match her internal assumption. This is the law I'm revealing to you tonight. The external world must conform to your sustained internal assumptions. But remember, these must be assumptions, not mere wishes or hopes. When you assume something, you live from it, you think from it, you act naturally from it. If you won $1 million, you wouldn't constantly think about having won it. You would simply lie from that state of abundance. This is how you must treat your desire, live from it, not toward it. The question then becomes, how do you maintain this assumption when your senses frame otherwise? The secret lies in understanding that your senses can only show you what is, never what can be. They are limited to reporting the effects of past assumptions. Adieu. The conscious being that you are, operate in the realm of infinite possibilities. Think of it like this. Imagine you're in a dark room with a flashlight. Whatever you point a being, that's what becomes visible to you. Your attention is like that flashlight beam. Whatever you focus on expands in your experience. When you consistently focus your attention on the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you're literally illuminating that reality into existence. But here's where most people stumble. They try to believe in their desire while simultaneously looking for evidence of its fulfillment. This divided mind, this double vision, prevents the manifestation of their desire. You must be bold enough to completely ignore the evidence of your senses when it contradicts your desire. This doesn't mean denying current circumstances. It means knowing they are transitive, knowing they must change to conform to your new assumption. Remember, the feeling is the secret. Not the physical sensation, but the feeling of naturalness, the feeling of already being what you want to be. When something is natural to you, you don't think about it constantly. You don't wonder if it's possible. You simply are it. This is the state you must capture and maintain regarding your desire. Let me give you a practical technique for this. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, ask yourself this question: how would I feel if my desire were ready for truth? Then capture that feeling. Don't just think about it, feel it. Feel the relief, the satisfaction, the joy, the naturalness of having what you desire. Fall asleep in this feeling. Your logical mind may protest, may present all the reasons why this is impossible. Thank it for its concern, but persist in your assumption. What you're doing in these moments before sleep is accessing the most powerful creative state available to you. In that drowsy state between waking and sleeping, your rational mind's resistance is lowest and your subconscious mind is most receptive. This is why I emphasize the importance of your last 5 minutes of consciousness before sleep. These moments are golden opportunities to impress your desire upon the subconscious mind. Now, let me address something that many struggle with: the interval of time between planting your seed and seeing its manifestation. This is where your faith will be tested most severely. The temptation will be to check constantly for signs of manifestation, to dig up your seed to see if it's growing. But just as a farmer doesn't dig up his seeds to check their progress, you must not constantly check for evidence of your desire's fulfillment. Instead, rest in the absolute knowing that what you have assumed must materialize. The how and when are not your concern. Your only task is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The external world will rearrange itself to match your assumption through bridge of incidents that you could not possibly orchestrate or predict.
The energy you surround yourself with plays a crucial role in attracting abundance into your life. Whether it's through mindfulness, positive affirmations, or surrounding yourself with symbols of prosperity, everything you do has the power to shape your financial future. When you align yourself with the right energy, you open the doors to limitless opportunities. Now, let's talk about something important. The economy might feel uncertain right now. You may be feeling anxious about your financial situation, but I want you to take a deep breath and let go of the fear. Listen carefully to every word of this message. It will shift your mindset and activate the energy of wealth within you. You may be skeptical, but I assure you, once you align yourself with the right frequency, you will be amazed at how quickly financial opportunities start appearing. You are now stepping into a new journey, one filled with prosperity, financial growth, and limitless abundance. Everything is shifting in your favor. The doors of wealth are opening, and you are about to receive more than you ever imagined. You are about to step into a completely new way of living, a life where money flows effortlessly into your hands, where abundance surrounds you, and where prosperity becomes your new reality. Whatever financial goals you've envisioned for yourself, no matter how big, expect even more. Your journey to wealth and financial success starts now. Before we move forward, take a moment to focus your mind. Breathe deeply, clear your thoughts, and concentrate on one powerful word. Increase. Increase in abundance. Increase in prosperity. Increase in wealth. Increase in cash flowing into your life. Increase in success touching every part of your journey. This increase isn't just for you. It will also uplift those you love. As your wealth grows, so does your ability to make a difference, to create opportunities, and to live the life you've always dreamed of. Right now, you may feel stuck, uncertain, or even doubtful about your financial future. But that's about to change. By the end of this video, you will no longer see money as something distant or difficult to obtain. Instead, you will understand that money is energy, and energy flows to where it is welcomed. Many people make the mistake of viewing money as just numbers in a bank account, but in reality, money is vibration. It is all around you, waiting for you to align with it. There is already an unlimited flow of wealth and prosperity moving in your direction. The only thing you need to do is open yourself to receive it, and that is exactly what we are going to do right now. Take a deep breath. Breathe in deeply through your nose, filling your lungs with fresh, clean energy. Feel the breath travel down, expanding your chest, filling your entire body with warmth, light, and calm. Hold it for a moment. Now slowly exhale through your mouth, releasing all tension, all stress, all doubt. Let go of anything that no longer serves you. This is your time. This is your moment. Right now, there is nothing else to do, nowhere else. To be simply relax. Allow yourself to sink into this experience fully. If you feel comfortable, gently close your eyes. Let the outside world fade away for a moment. If you prefer to keep your eyes open, that's perfectly fine. Just allow yourself to drift into a state of deep relaxation. Feel your body becoming lighter. Your shoulders loosen, your mind clears, your breath deepens. A profound sense of peace begins to settle over you, wrapping around you like a warm embrace. In this moment, there is nothing to worry about. Everything in your life is unfolding exactly as it should. There is no need to force anything. There is no need to rush. Right here, right now. You are in perfect alignment with the natural flow of the universe. You are stepping into a new version of yourself, one that is abundant, successful, and overflowing with prosperity. Now imagine a soft golden light surrounding you. This light is warm, comforting, powerful. It wraps around you like a protective cocoon of pure energy, shielding you from negativity, dissolving any lingering doubts and filling you with a deep, unshakable sense of certainty and peace. This is not just any light. It is the very essence of abundance, success, and infinite wealth. It is the energy of prosperity itself. With each breath you take, this light grows brighter, stronger, more radiant. It pulsates with pure golden energy, expanding all around you, flowing through you and illuminating every corner of your being. As it expands, it clears away the old, the doubts, the fears, the subconscious limitations that once held you back. It replaces them with confidence, clarity, and the unshakable belief that you are destined for abundance. Feel this golden energy moving through your body. It flows into your head, clearing your mind of all worry. It travels down your neck and shoulders, releasing tension, dissolving stress. It fills your heart, opening it wide to receive. It spreads down through your arms, through your hands, making you ready to grasp the wealth and success that is already on its way to you. The light continues to flow, moving into your stomach, your legs, your feet, grounding you in prosperity, anchoring you in certainty, aligning you with financial freedom. You are glowing with abundance. You are radiating success. You are overflowing with wealth. And as this light surrounds and fills you, it does something even greater. It begins to attract. Like a magnet, this energy starts pulling in limitless prosperity from all directions. Opportunities are drawn to you. Unexpected financial blessings start moving toward you. Wealth, success, and abundance begin gravitating toward you, effortlessly, naturally, powerfully. With every breath, this attraction becomes stronger. With every heartbeat, this reality becomes more certain. And now, as you are wrapped in this powerful golden glow, you hear these words, not just as words, but as vibrations. These are not just sounds. These are not just sentences. These words are energy. These words are frequencies. They hold within them the power to reshape your mind, transform your energy, and unlock the doors to infinite financial prosperity. They are more than affirmations. They are commands to the universe. They are decrees of wealth. They are declarations of success, and as you hear them, they do something profound. They begin sinking deep into your subconscious mind, rewriting your beliefs, shifting your perspective, erasing old limitations, and clearing the way for unlimited abundance to flood into your life. Right now, in this very moment, your reality is shifting. The version of you that once hesitated, once doubted, once questioned your financial future, that version is fading away. In its place, a new version of you is emerging, a version that is confident, unstoppable, and fully aligned with wealth and success. You are no longer waiting for abundance to find you. You are attracting it now. You are stepping into your wealth. You are stepping into your success. You are stepping into your destiny. Take a deep breath and embrace the limitless abundance that is now flowing into your life. From this very moment, your reality is shifting. Money is no longer something distant or difficult to obtain. It is no longer an uphill battle, nor is it something that requires endless effort or struggle. It is not a burden that weighs you down, nor is it something you have to constantly chase. Instead, money is a natural part of your existence. As natural as the air you breathe, as effortless as the waves that reach the shore, as abundant as the stars in the night sky. It is always present, always flowing, always available to you. Money is not something you need to earn through hardship or sacrifice. It is not something that belongs only to others. It belongs to you. It is meant for you. It is already on its way to you. From this moment forward, you are no longer on the outside looking in. You are in the flow. You are in perfect alignment with the endless infinite supply of wealth that surrounds you. You are a magnet for financial success. Wealth, prosperity, and opportunity are no longer things that seem out of reach. They are no longer dreams waiting to be realized. They are no longer reserved for someday. They are here right now. You are stepping into a life where money flows to you effortlessly. Opportunities unfold before you with ease. Doors open for you in unexpected and extraordinary ways. The right people, the right resources, and the right circumstances all align to bring you exactly what you need at exactly the right time. Take another deep breath in. Feel the shift happening within you. Hold that breath for a moment and slowly exhale. With each breath, you feel lighter. With each breath, you feel more powerful, more confident, more certain of the abundance that is flowing into your life. There is no resistance, no hesitation, no fear. only trust, only certainty, only abundance. With every breath you take, your mind, body, and energy field are aligning more deeply with wealth, prosperity, and financial freedom. You are now stepping into a new reality, one where you are surrounded by limitless abundance. You no longer worry about money. You no longer wonder if it will come. You know it is already coming. You feel it. You see it. You trust in it completely. It is no longer a question of if. It is already done. Your wealth is secured. Your success is inevitable. Your life is forever changed. Now take another deep breath and welcome the abundance that is now flowing into your life. You are no longer waiting for wealth to appear. It is already here. It is already moving toward you. It is already yours. Take a moment to let this truth sink in, feel it, believe it, know it. This is the beginning of something extraordinary. Your financial breakthrough has already begun. Are you ready? Now listen carefully and repeat these words in your mind or out loud with absolute certainty. Believe them, feel them, and know that they are already manifesting in your life. I invoke the infinite source of all wealth and abundance. Today I begin a new chapter, a new life, one filled with prosperity, success, and limitless opportunities. I do not need to ask for wealth, for I know that I was born to be wealthy. Money is multiplying in my life every single day. I now declare to the universe that wealth flows to me effortlessly, without struggle, without resistance. I am rich. I am abundant. I am financially free. Wealth is my reality. Today I am completely free from every limiting belief that once held me back. Every old thought, every doubt, every false belief that told me money was difficult to obtain, that I was not meant for abundance, or that financial success was out of reach, it is now erased. From this moment forward, I release the past. I step away from lack, from limitation, from struggle. I no longer carry the burdens of scarcity or the fears of not having enough. I have stepped into a new reality, a reality where wealth flows to me as naturally as the air I breathe, a reality where prosperity is not just a possibility, it is my truth, my identity, my destiny. I am no longer waiting for abundance to arrive. I am walking in it now. I declare that my life is overflowing with riches in every form. Money is no longer something distant or elusive. It is an ever-present force that surrounds me. It is in the air I breathe, in the steps I take, in the decisions I make. It is no longer something I wish for or chase after. Instead, it naturally flows to me in ways both expected and unexpected. I am fully connected to the energy of money. I no longer see it as numbers in a bank account or pieces of paper. I recognize it for what it truly is, a limitless vibration of abundance, a force that responds to my thoughts, my beliefs, and my energy. I can feel its presence in my life right now. I sense it moving toward me, through me, and within me. I am in perfect harmony with wealth. It moves through my hands, my home, my career, and my relationships. It strengthens me, empowers me, and expands my ability to live freely and abundantly. Wealth is no longer something I must strive for. It is something that is drawn to me effortlessly and continuously. I am aligned with the limitless abundance of the universe. I decree I am wealthy. I decree I am rich beyond measure. I decree I am abundant in every way. I embrace this truth. I live this truth. I am this truth. Money flows to me easily, effortlessly, and in ever-increasing amounts every single day. There is no struggle, only flow, expansion, and prosperity. This is my intention, and so it is. This is my reality, and so it is. This is my life, and so it is. One powerful word now fills my life. It fills my hands, my wallet, my home, and my bank account. That word is increase. This increase is unstoppable. It expands with every breath I take, with every action I make. Wealth is no longer something I seek. It is something that seeks me. It finds me effortlessly. It reaches me in expected and unexpected ways. Money is not just numbers in a bank account. It is an energy that surrounds me, supports me, and flows through my life like an endless river of prosperity. Everywhere I go, opportunities appear. Doors open. Favor follows me. I am in harmony with wealth. I am in alignment with success. Abundance is mine, and I fully receive it.